So, yo, bad hands. You bad hands, you fucking faggot. Yeah, you fucking faggot. Forcing people to do things. Huh? Yeah, you do the same with my mother at my mom and dad's house. You force them to do things and you want me to get mad at them. You got $100 and some million just kicking around. And you're gonna force them to come in here and steal from me. I counted before I went to sleep, Pat hands, you fucking moron. You're a fucking retard. That's what you are. You're a fucking retard. You think I was gonna get mad at her? She can do no wrong. You fucking useless fucking fat trot. Fuck are you gonna do, Pat Haynes? They may be scared of you because they know your track record. I know you're a Hells Angel. That's all I need to know about you. You're fucking nobody to me. Most Hells Angels around are alright. You're a fucking nobody to me. Force them in here to fucking steal from me. Yeah, because I'm a heavy sleeper. I wonder where it went. Hey, Pat. You expect me to get mad at her? She can do no wrong. You're a fucking loser, man. You're fucking stupid. That's what you are. You're fucking stupid Pat Haynes. Or dead Pat Haynes. Dead Pat Haynes. That's what he is. He's a dead guy walking around. The fucking dead guy on the fucking fucking useless. All he is. He wants to. There's a connection there because they knew him back in the day. My mom's having an affair with him. She was. Maybe she's not anymore. See, when I sleep, I'm a heavy sleeper. And she can do no wrong. That's going to set me back a day. Everyone set back a day. Pat Haynes a fucking retard. She can do no wrong. She wouldn't even listen to it with extra money anyways. So it's all good. But fucking Pat Haynes is just a fucking retard. Yeah, Pat Haynes, you fucking retard. Hey, fat Pat. That's either fat Pat or fucking dead Pat Haynes. One of the two. He can't do a fucking thing about it. He knows it. So, by the time he's a tough guy, he's only sleeping. Hey, fat Pat. Fat Pat, dead Pat Haynes. And he's doing it like he's Mr. fucking Casanova. Like he's fucking okay. He's like it's allowed. Like I don't mind. I do mind, but I don't mind because it's her. And she can do no wrong. Fat Pat, the fucking clown. He wouldn't dare. He wouldn't dare. He's trying to get information from her. That's all he's trying to do. He's just trying to play fucking Casanova. He's a fucking serial murderer. How can he be just because he's an organized crime doesn't mean he's not a serial killer? Well, how many has he killed? With the fentanyl crisis. Fucking hundreds probably. Do you know that? No? But she fears him because that's her generation. And they got respect for each other because it's her generation. She doesn't know about the fucking fentanyl crisis like I know about it. I've researched it, Fat Pat. Most of the issues coming from it are from you. And I see that. And you're just trying to be, you're trying to be a 12-day drug dealer. You're trying to be less than that. You're trying to ruin my place to stay. All you're trying to do. I should put this on the bag. Andy Kim was allowed to have a couple extra bucks from me. I don't mind, Fat Pat. And you got $100-something million, so I'll take it off your fucking scalp. So you got heat, do you, Fat Pat? You don't got heat yet. When you got heat, Fat Pat, is when you can be found and put in jail. Because I can't kill you because I don't know where you're at. I'm not a rat, and I'm not undercover, and I'm not a policeman. But it's okay for me to want you in jail because I can't find you to kill you. So there's that. Fat Pat, if you ever think there's going to be a day where I'm going to ever meet you, you're a fucking queer. You're a bull queer. And you like it in both ends probably. You probably do. Very embarrassing thing. You're second in time runs everything. You just sit there and do nothing. You sit there and you just telekinetically fuck with my potential family out there. And guess what, Fat Pat? I don't have any kids, so you're fucking stupid twice. Let's just hack the fucking database if somebody got him as the genetics. He knows it somehow. If he does, he probably doesn't. Fucking retards on feet. Hey, Fat Pat, what do you think I was going to do right now? $120. Is there a number there that you wanted me to know? 120? Yeah, you're going to fucking jail, Fat Pat. If they ever needed to operate, it's time for them to operate on Fat Pat. Because he's no good. He's not the same man he used to. And I've researched the fentanyl crisis. And that 120 might get him fucking butchered. They can find him. Nobody can find him. They haven't seen him since what, the 80s? The 90s? He's got his reputation. That's all he's got. That's not all we have in life. Some people do things that are good. Other people do things that are not good. $120 is going to send me back now. And it sends me back till, oh fuck, it'll be 3 days now. I can't not having yourself good. And you know what else is funny? Jesse Anderson. He's young, fat, fat side. And that's what's wrong on that team. They're on the same team, you see. When one guy does something, it affects all of them. So, and if somebody's not on the same team, you know that it's, and he had a cousin or something, and Anderson, was a different family Anderson. So she passed away on my birthday. And that's Fat Pat at work. And Brett Haynes said Fat Pat at work. You see, he's a harbinger of fucking death around here. That's all he is. He's a harbinger of fucking death. Because I don't ship in fentanyl by the truckload from fucking different parts of the world, from fucking India, mainly. And just because they run it through China doesn't mean it's not from India. And the Chinese probably want the heroin trade to be back. Why wouldn't they? It was safer. We had a thing called, what is it called, the liquid stuff, methadone, and the heroin trade was not safe. It's sort of safe stuff, but it was to a point after thousands of years. It was regulated, and now Fat Pat just kills off everything. Fat Pat hands, or Dead Pat. Dead Pat. What do you want to say, Dead Pat? I don't do telekinetics with you. You're a fucking loser, man. You're a fucking loser, and you're a sore loser to me. He lost to me, but he doesn't want to give up. So he thought he'd do that. It's a joke. Trying to say that he's what? Wait, he's trying to say that he's just a good old boy? Yeah, right. You ain't nothing to me, Dead Pat. Dead Pat hands. Wait till I write something about you today. You ain't gonna like it, pal. You ain't my fucking pal. You're a fucking piece of shit. That's gonna set everyone back. Because I'm out of business for a couple days. Yeah, just because Dead Pat. Because Dead Pat with $100 million. Dead Pat and Jesse Anderson. They're buddies. Jesse Anderson's phone up there. That's where he bought his truck. Jesse had to come floss in his truck. When I lived at Brian's house, Jesse thought he was the king of the world, and he was a prospect then. They do it in secret in this province. They're too pushy to show their fucking colors or tell anybody that they are. That's how fucking that's why is he eyes and ears on that railroad? Up there on that dock. And Celtics and Savage. Why he doesn't do that anymore? Why does he keep reporting to him? He has to change command. He doesn't have to do anything he doesn't want to. And listen to me right now, Jesse Anderson. You don't want to be part of that because that's not what you're doing. Something you think is just organized crime stuff, and you're fucking with the national defense of this whole fucking country. And so the buck's got to stay somewhere. And I know something that if I got to pull it, I will, because I can call somebody on my iPad again. That's why I don't have an iPhone, so I guess I can go get an iPhone today. I'll only go to half off because, well, thank Dead Pat Haynes. I can't grab it, and I need to grab it. I need a full one, and I need some ice. And Dead Pat Haynes is fucking called. She's not the back any of this. I'm her guest in her home. She can get no wrong. And it's just, I said before, I passed out last night that would happen, and that just takes the rating out. And he probably wanted it to go. He's trying to be suave drug dealer. He's not my uncle. Patty ain't my uncle. He's not my family. It's nothing. One man's name is not attached to another man's name in his family. Is there somebody named Preston? If he's a Hayden, I'll fucking change my name. He's a fucking disgusting, foul piece of fucking filth. His name's Preston, and he has a window washing company. I seen one of his cars once. There wasn't Preston Hayden on there. No, he's not Hayden. He's disgusting. He overdosed Scott. That's my opinion. I can't prove it. But I hadn't been going around because Scott was the only reason I was going around. And I said what I said to her parents after it. And the only reason I went around is because of Scott. And I just wanted to be Scott's friend again. And Because Matt Bonner and Christian Forstmann cut me out. That wasn't a big deal though. The big deal was, and Pat Haynes had to get involved. And that's when Pat Haynes got involved because he's not allowed to be involved in cameras even if you're not on the same page. And if you find it out in the cameras, just to spite me, and I don't have no 100 million. So what the fuck is your problem if you? And what the fuck is your problem? You're gonna get behind that Pat Haynes and his 100 million, eh? You guys are in cahoots now over me, eh? I've still been making sales and you guys don't like it. I can't fucking stand it. Every breath I take is a fucking insult to those guys. And he's playing it different. He's just playing it like he's a suave fucking drug dealer. He's still a fucking fentanyl pusher. And he sells mad fentanyl. Lots of it. He's the biggest importer of fentanyl. He sells it on the continent. And he is. He's got 100 plus million. And if he goes to jail, there goes his heart again. And it's fucking, who cares? He's dead, Pat Haynes. And I got family that I don't like these too. He's like got family he doesn't like these too. And I don't call out the phone for any of that family. Like I'm on a tight ship, and that's called me being me. And I don't keep in touch with my family. I live with mom and dad. And dad's sick of me. Me and dad, maybe he drives me out there, and I come and go look for him. And we do go out the favor. Because for the price of 120 back, you're getting this online. So I'd like to have that in. I did a count before, and 120 represents like a number. Just one number. But if you're older than, you know, 18 or 21, you've been to jail or you know hard in bed, you know when they get busy. They leave a mess there, dead Pat Haynes. So, you heard of their brotherhood Pat Haynes? I knew about them when he was in jail, and Uncle Johnny was that when he was in jail. You get old Uncle Johnny, he beat Pat Haynes up once, and it's rumored folklore and legend, and the only people who are allowed to talk about it, and I just figured it out. I've known this for a while, and dead Pat Haynes. Well, look, too bad Johnny didn't shit kick you to death. He was after life for a reason. You still pay your taxes, don't you, Pat Haynes? And you don't pay enough. You should bump him up 5 points. Sure, sounds good. I guess I'll give maybe 6 or 7. Double him up. He's going to pay 7 points. He's going to pay 14. No, and he doesn't get to raise the final price. He stays the same. Fuck him. He thinks he's going to just, I know how they work. Tell him a drug dealer. He can double up his take now got less than 7 points. Because it's just coming off of his end. Well, that's the power of the internet, Pat Haynes. So for you forcing her in here to do that, because I know she wouldn't want to, and she's just doing you a favor, and she took the right amount, because she can do no wrong. So, it's no big deal. Dead Pat Haynes just lost 7 points on $1 million. She's already paying 7 points on $1 million, so can you imagine paying $70,000 a million? Now he's got to pay $140,000 a million. That goes right to you know who, and that's the fucking as good as get. That should go to Rizzuto's, but they don't touch that fucking money. They don't want to touch that money. They never did. So that Pat gets to pay it. It's like a loan. It's like the figure on a loan. That's the way it goes. They didn't want to get involved with it in New York. Not at all. But Dead Pat Haynes had to bring it in. Dead Pat Haynes is doing what with telekinesis? I know there's some old English law that states that people can't use certain forms of black magic. And it's just some sort of black magic that he does. And I've picked up on something only because of my cat being infected. And I was studying the fentanyl epidemic. And I got it nailed down. And he sits in the house and he does black magic. I think he bubbles a cauldron, walks around with a dildo on his ass too. That's how he does it. That's why that's what he does. That's what I heard through the grapevine. Now his take should go up to fucking 20%. But doubling it is pretty good. And you guys hear rumors and folklore? What rumors is Pat Haynes pushed at the dinner table? Dead Pat Haynes, you've been bested by betters, players, organized crime. And you can't do a fucking thing, you fat trollop. I know that name from Vancouver. And trollop is a funny. And Dead Pat Haynes is the only fat trollop there is. Because, other men are stout. They eat good and they put on a little extra, but he's like Uncle Val. He's unfortunately still uncle. They're all uncles, so for 50 to 70, except Keith. Keith and actually Uncle Val isn't. Well, he is and he isn't. Depends how he acts that day. And he had nothing to do with Pat Haynes. He knew my cousin up there. That's where they're getting the good stuff. And they decided to cut me down and they decided to treat me like a punk again. Because I'm the hardened one. I'm the hardened one with all the fucking connections. And I don't fuck around. You guys see me at the gym, I'm not fucking around. I'm in there 45 minutes. Bing, bang, boom. I got a fucking Hells Angel as a cousin. I'm disgraced by that fucking red-haired fucking faggot. He was there in the summer. That must have been him. He gave me a different name. We had a philosophical battle about gangsterism, and he's a fucking punk. He could be ran out of town. Hey, a biker's a gangster. Oh, they are. But just because they're a biker doesn't mean they're not a gangster. That's probably why Pat Haynes is hidden. He doesn't want the gangsterism to hit him. I knew a man who I shook his hand once, and he had gangsterism hit him at one time, but it went away. Or it was in town illegally. Who knows? It's not my business. I can't say who that was because I'm solid. And his name's got nothing to fucking do with this Haynes fella. Because he's trying to hurt anybody that's close to me without me knowing. And, oh, Dead Pat. He fucked up my business again. Dead Pat Haynes. That's what he does. That's Dead Pat. That's Dead Pat in a nutshell. Fucking up other guys' business and pretending like he's Johnny Law out there. He's got blackmail and extortion tactics over the police. And I would guess the police are sick of him because they know what he does. And I don't, because I don't deal with police other than when they arrest me and I got a court date. Because I got what you call, I assaulted. Well, it's rumor in folklore the court date is because, I was actually trespassing, and the rumor is I do have a court date if there's anyone from Dallas that wanted to know. And what day is it today? And only I would know that because of an accidental. And I grew up right up the road because of I grew up in a certain place called Dallas, and only I know people from Dallas because the way I know people from Dallas because I'm Cody Hayden, and this is not a relative of Pat Haynes, and relative of Pat Haynes is a good man. I know he is. I know, and there's other bloodlines, and I know from the phone book when I was young that there was like 6 or 7 fucking Hayden families in Canada. So I'm sorry for dragging y'all through the mud all those years. And this isn't an affidavit or any kind of thing like that. And I know another man from upriver, and he's senior. And has Junior found the YouTube yet? I don't think he has. That's okay. That's no problem. We want him healthy, happy, and whole, and I think he's doing better anyway, so he hasn't been partying much. He's probably wondering why I haven't called, because I'm just a guy that can buy around now, and that's all it is. And Pat Haynes hates it, and they all hate it on that side, because there's a side of the fence in this pub, and there's pro-fentanyl crazy, that's Pat Haynes and his buddies, and then there's pro-life, which is everybody else that doesn't want anybody to pass away from fentanyl ever, and that's pretty standard operating procedure for any human being. Because we got lots of room here in BC, and they're killing off people because they don't want that. This is Pat Haynes' theory, probably. He's probably doing it for population control. He thinks he's doing the right thing. He's not doing the right thing at all. And there's nobody that can't. We got room for everybody in Canada. We got food for everybody in Canada. Nobody goes without in this country. It's impossible to starve in this country if you go to the food bank. And it was Pat Haynes and Jeff. It was Pat Haynes and Jeff that shut down what is it? Where they give free breakfast out. That wasn't Jeff. He drives by there every day. It wasn't him that shut that down. Well, that's good because Pat Haynes shut it down then. That fucking, and he's a different chapter, so he does things differently, but he's under one man who's no good. I called him, or he's not under that man anymore. Good. Because he tried risking your career there. And I picked up on it because I'm smart. And just because man has colors on right now, their actions are being called into question. Because some men wear the colors and they represent the chain of command, and some men get fooled by the chain of command also. Chains of command can also be great at the top, and in the middle there's rotten. And sometimes rotten needs to be cut out, or it needs to be just duct taped over and pretend it's not there. Power can be taken away from men too. And that happens when money leaves, or they get sat down and they get yelled at, and people gang up on them as far as seniority goes. And I sat down at T-Bars once. I said nothing. I said to Bradley, I said, Fat Bradley, P-H-A-T, not like fatty, F-A-T-T-Y. He had a nip and tuck. That's why he's skinny. That's why he's skinny. Okay, so I'm up now. And I don't know. Somebody else is more upset about it than I am. It's no big deal. Because I'm an expensive man to have around because I stay up late. And Dead Pat, 120. Dead Pat Haynes. Dead Pat Haynes. He's probably has, this is how he operates. He probably has 10, 15 different houses. And he's got a tinted vehicle and a new tinted vehicle on each one. And he just goes from different house to different house and he doesn't talk to anybody anymore. His only duties now, they put him on slash duties and he does whatever he wants. He's a free man that doesn't, he's got over $100 million tucked away legally. Legal money, so he's a legal businessman. But he's still Pat Haynes. And there's still things called folklore and legend. And he's neither. He's neither. He's just a guy that has a track record. And he's a guy that can be caught. But he probably can't. Nobody can find him for interrogation. Because nobody knows where he's at. He's basically a missing person. We could put him on the back of a milk crate. Why don't we just do that? I'll call out there and I'll say that I haven't seen him. Apparently I was with him. That's what they said to everybody I was with him. I'm not with Pat Haynes. I never fucking was. I never needed his backing for nothing. I'm my dad's key, and those two don't like each other at all. That's a big beef there. And that's one thing if he'd overlooked, because if he's just trying to have me killed. That's all he's trying to do now. I never met him. I never met him at all. I accidentally thought I might have met him. Maybe. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. He asked me if I was okay. I said nothing. I don't talk to human traffickers. And was it just a way it's just they're diversifying their portfolio, just human traffic women? Oh, great. What a fucking great thing. I don't want nothing to do with that. No match at Los Angeles or BC. Nothing. That's why I do my own thing. That's why people trust me. And certain chapters don't have a fucking thing to do with it. Maybe they don't fight against it, but they don't fucking do it. Some men do it in secret. Some men like having women in clothes, and they're disgusting, man. I'd go without a girlfriend before I have a fucking woman in clothes. Why do you think I had no girlfriends from 2010 to fucking, when's the last girlfriend I had was like 08. And I didn't have a girlfriend until I met Catherine in Thailand because we didn't human traffic each other. We decided to have a relationship with each other. There's the fucking difference. And I knew when she got back to the shoreline, it would be tough on her. And they basically changed her around as soon as she got here. Because where it went one way was one thing, and I'm the big cat, and I'm Cody Hayden. There's no Christopher Greywar here. Christopher Greywar looks a certain way, and I look a certain way. And I'm Cody Hayden. And my dad knows from the real Cody Hayden from Christopher Greywar. So was he out there again? He wasn't out there again. No, he wasn't. Because he knows he's going to get fucking shot one of these days. Because guess what, Chris? Maybe my dad's a nomad. Maybe he is. Maybe he's just a hangaround that never fucking wanted to put colors on. And if he retired peacefully, which he is, he doesn't have to do a fucking thing from anybody. Because if he's just trying to have us killed, and nobody wants to come out there and kill us. Because we're a legendary father and son from all over. And you're a legendary father and son too, Chris. And your father's not Iffy. And your father isn't Ron. Ron is your stepfather, though. And you're a legendary man in your own right to certain men that know what you've been up to. But I know what you've been up to without being with you. How do you think that's true? Because I'm like the reaper of fucking souls. I can pull it from the enemy's fucking mind. And I do this now. I don't pick on the young guys, though. I don't pick on Steve. I don't pick on Steve Stack, Senula Rawada, or Adam Savage, who engineered my cat being abducted. And Chris probably would give her back if it was up to him. And it is up to you, man. You're the nomad there. Steve can't overrule you. Because Steve's just a Hell's Angel. You're a fucking nomad. If you are, you are. And you can take what you want from that guy. Because you're designed, Chris. The whole design of the nomad is to basically police the Hell's Angel. Because they get out of line, they get whacked. And his father would never want his son whacked. And I just want my cat back. And his father's a good man. And he's more of a legitimate businessman with no colors on. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because it's been a long time, and maybe he's still pissed off at Geef for something. But Geef did it because there's a chain of command decision, and there's beefs. That's what I'm saying. The Hells Angels are at war in this province, southern BC. It's more of a philosophical battle, and I'm the narrator. And I'm not going in for nothing because I don't do nothing except sell a tiny little bit of drugs. as I always have. I don't bring it in by the fucking shipping container there. They're Pat Hands, and he's known to be a big fucking drug dealer. Because just because you're a Hells Angel and you don't do anything anymore doesn't mean you're not at the head of the fucking operation there, Pat. And you're chapter president, or you're chapter president of Kamloops, and you're chapter president of Kelowna, and you're chapter president of Vernon. Hey, that's the fix he has in. Well, then you got to take a fall. Why don't you go down to the cop shop and tell him how fucking tough you are? Like if you like to do with his Italian buddy don't do that no more. So if he's not getting reinforced on that front, which is nice, and that's a nice thing they did for us, because this is a battle of British Columbia versus British Columbia at the end of the day. Because we're not invading anywhere else, and that wasn't an invasion. He was just pushing his weight around because, well, at the time, it sounded like a good idea, and they were complaining about why I wasn't in jail, maybe. Because if he likes to complain about stuff like that with his old job, but now he's retired, and the game's changed for somebody in Hawaii, maybe he's silent this morning, and something happened, maybe that he doesn't like, and we can think maybe that man is maybe there's a different Italian man, and maybe there's different Italian organs, man. Maybe that Italian man's just not coming back to do that same thing, and you probably would apologize respectfully. And he's just seeing what he can get away with. Like I used to do it. I used to get away with all sorts of shit. But I was getting more like in the cops and robbers and crime. And that was more of a serious thing. But he's not doing it anymore because he's a different Italian organized man. And someone in Hawaii's got a war on fucking 5 or 6 months now all of a sudden. We didn't expect that. So they can't get to him because he's playing the big fucking. He's been playing the big cheese out there. So he's the big cheese. And so he's got moving pieces elsewhere. And nobody's going to come after me because I'm the narrator. And life's a big, life's hectic. And I got so much to go this morning. Anyways, I gotta pack up. There, go see my cat. My dad. Well, I say my cat first because they raised me. They've been on me for 35 years. So my cat I've only known for 4. He's turning, I say his birthday's December 1st, and that's my birthday. I think she came over at $120. She took away her nap. And that's what it's called, sleeping fucking money. So she has extra money now, and I'm happy for her. Because if there's anybody I share with, it would be Auntie Kim. That's not even where I'm at. I'm at Bulbs, at Joe Bulbs, and she just stopped by and I handed it to her in the middle of the night. This is actually Joe Bulb's house. Pat Ann's never heard of him. He flew in from Wisconsin 3 days ago. And he's a full-fledged patch member. And he's a good lot. And a lot that don't fuck around. And a lot that take care of business stuff. And they've really respected the Roseland Barger, Ralph Barger. And he was a legend to them. And some people went Pat's way. He didn't have any fucking respect for him whatsoever. Maybe at one time he did, but maybe he forgot about it. And there's no fixing what you've done, Pat. So, you want to go see a Roman Catholic church? Go find a Catholic one. Repent. Or be a Protestant and end up how some of them ended up. Some of them didn't end up that bad at all. It's still Protestant churches. I don't know. I've never been to Ireland, so we're not going to get that stoked up. It's not my business. That didn't work, did it, Pat? Didn't work so good for you. I just haven't spent the money for days. I go hungry. I go nail my pants and raid the fridge. I got yogurt though last night. He dead, Pat Haynes. He's not very smart. Because he's wanted to be dead or alive. Wanted. Dead or alive, Pat Haynes. Someone stole that out of my Monte Carlo. Yeah, that's how much respect they have for me. Some have respect and some just do what they're told. Because they put patches on a bunch of guys that I grew up with. That's what happened with my dad's generation too. Some of those guys ended up being successful businessmen. Found other people to protect them from these guys. That's kind of what I've done. Because they'd have me dead already if it wasn't back east. And so we'll just have to wait for him to die off. And dead Pat. Remember, imagine he didn't have a phone. He didn't do anything with phones anymore. It's all done through Valak Soviet era. I don't do any of that stuff because that kind of new style of doing things called I don't do any Soviet era telekinetic. Excuse me. Excuse me. I've been saying that one forever. That's my way of keeping two different power hierarchies involved, and it's obviously God's first and the Vatican's first, and if you believe in God or not. Not everybody believes in God. And it's okay if you don't believe in God. Some men believe in God. And I don't do any secret telecommunications with anybody. I know my history, organized crime well, and I'm not going above anybody, going over anybody's head ever. And I'm with the holy man first and foremost as far as this podcast goes. It's not really a podcast, it's just I don't get any news over the internet, so pretty sure my internet says what's not my internet here, it's Andy Kemp's, and it's Joe Bulbs, and well, Joe Bulbs connected, and Joe Bulbs don't go around. And just because Joe Bulb parties a little bit, and his buddies party a little bit, doesn't mean Joe Bulb isn't from he's from Nashville. And originally, well, he's in Wisconsin originally, but he comes in by way of Nashville. He's up there, not the house with the white picket fence, but I heard that guy that worked with mine there. So that's something to do with mine. Which mine, I don't know. There's more than one mine in the province. And, well, it'd be nice one day, but we got a little problem in this country called the fentanyl crisis, and they know it, and I know it. And, well, I don't have any fictitious girlfriends right now, to be honest with you. I got my hands and my heartbeat, and, I forgot to play it. And it's okay. Nobody needs to know. And Joe Bob, he don't fuck around. Joe Bob's from Wisconsin, he's from Nashville somewhere, so he was up there in a small camper, and he's up there on a piece of property. He's up there with his family, or he says he's with his family. And I don't know if he's related or not, he just showed up. And he's like family. And he's got the better for the whole community in mind. But sometimes there's a guy like Pat Haynes, or might know of these people, and he might know exactly who he's talking about. He's been in the money for a long time, though. There's nothing wrong with being a Hells Angel, really, but it depends on your chain of command. The Camus one has been breached, the wall's been breached, and they don't want to work for him anymore. And he's taking on water. Maybe he wasn't hit there in Camus, but maybe he was hit somewhere else in one of his other chapters that he thinks he owns. Started the moments. They're all over the world. He was fighting operated for power. And that's what he's up to. I'm learning this here to go. Going off feel for people listening, and I'm going off feel like a card player. I haven't been killed yet, so that's good. Joe Bob wouldn't allow it. There's men out here that have been to the East Coast. And there's men that have had sit-downs for different things over the years. There's men that get along quite well. There's men that knew Uncle Johnny. And they knew Uncle Jerry too. Uncle Jerry, we're not related by blood, but he taught me how to do a couple things in the bush. And then my dad taught me how to do a couple things in the bush too. And, Joe Granger is a more experienced hunter, but he's done some things when he was younger that I can forgive. But he's rumored to be First Nation. And, well, for one, the price of one deer, it's that season again. We should go get one, Dad. It would be free meat for me. I could get, where do I go to get, news tickets? I can go, bow hunting. I have my cord. I don't think it expires. Does it expire every 5 years? That's the firearms acquisition license. I don't know much about it. I was told I was not firearms, so I said, okay, well, I won't have firearms, and I don't have firearms in my life ever. And well, for the price of a sound, I slept like a fucking baby. I didn't even mean to fall asleep. Some people are probably worried. There's nothing to worry about. Because I'm just packing up to get going. Because I'm kind of like Joe Bob. I'm just in town with family. She's known me my whole life. So, literally, she handled me when I was a baby. I wasn't kicking and screaming then, or was I? Because I sure was. And so I took up a little hobby. And well, whatever, it's a hobby for me. I enjoy it because I didn't do it when I was a teenager. So developing the development of my brain wasn't ruined. And other people wasn't ruined either, but they joined some guy changed man. Some people being harsh to one man. And one man I like better than Preston. Way better than Preston. And Preston's a nobody. So if there's somebody in Kelowna that wants to say fuck you to Preston and fuck you to Pat with his colors on, then just know Joe Bob would respect you for it. Just you gotta be careful, because then they'll want you dead. That's how those men work. So you're in Kelowna. It's not quite the same as Kamloops. Kamloops has been pacified by Cody Hayden, but they still gotta do what he wants out here, and they won't kill me, so they don't want to risk it. And that's fair. And they all know me personally, these guys. They all just had to meet me after what happened in Hillside. And well, I tied what happened is a cord or something. I tied it to a door, and I pulled the fucking door off a cabinet or something. And I'm not sure how it runs that, but I did. And I'm a pretty good perceiver of thoughts. And I'm just wondering, can anybody? I'm gonna have a coffee first. I wouldn't dare. And that's Auntie Kim. She's awesome. There's probably coffee ready. It's already 10:30 or 10:13. See here, they're in the future out east. They're 3 hours ahead. I always wondered why the Japanese get to start on the stock market first. They're 13, 14, 15 hours ahead. I mean, they get a head start. They get to work early, and they're done work by the time New York even opens. How's that fair? You know, that's not very fair. And they're probably wondering why New York has so much goddamn money over there. But you know, that's a sacred bond between those two cities. Because why New York and Toyota? I mean Toyota, not Toyota. New York and Tokyo. So close. Why is there so many flights back and forth? Do those men talk about things in person? Do they talk about secret things? Well, that's not very nice. But the stock wars was over. Okay, if you followed the stock talk, stock wars is over. So the old man are pretty happy sending the young men on plane flights, and men with mahogany desks, well, they probably haven't taken any flights at all this year. So unless they went on holidays, it's kind of how it works. Or they drive up to their houses that are near the city, or they're staying in their apartments, and everybody's got a home. And sometimes it's just a good time for everybody, and some people have more or less money, but still, we all get to listen. And I was just wondering how the stock wars went for everybody, because everybody thought I was buying into two storied and fabled and amazing Canadian corporations. And there's two in mind that I have in mind, and people could ascertain which ones I enjoy watching the most on day-to-day driving two cameras. And well, I haven't even heard it yet. They must drive and run them by slowly this day and age. And I never touched the damn thing on the CN line. Never once. I crossed it over at that Cinnamon Ridge. I crossed it once with my uncle Sean White, and I think Brett Hayden was there, and that's the last time we would have been together with Sean. And Brett and me were young, and we lived in Padova. It's one of my earliest memories. I don't have much of a memory of it because I was young. It was before I started smoking weed with him, because I was in Richmond. And my mom and dad probably never even knew that, because I didn't tell them. That's one of the reasons they moved us from there to Quesnel, because she would know nothing of this. He's learning of this now, so if he's taking notes to try and pretend to be me again, because you've been caught, okay? Not me. Everybody outside of Kamloops, or everyone in Kamloops is aware that you just hang out and make fun of me because you don't like me anymore, or one thing you want back is me in your life to be like a leader in your life, because I'm a great leader when I want to be, but I'm only leading myself. The blind can't lead the blind, so I'm still a small-time crook. And Well, as far as I know, I'm not a policeman, and the secret between the secret police and the Crimson Secret Police is that Crimson Secret Police aren't fucking policemen, and there's only one. And Canada don't have any of those, and I know I read somewhere that they have some of those, and somewhere in the eastern Germany or something they have that. Or I think it was Germany or some country, maybe it was the UK. No, the UK has SAS, and that's Secret Assassination Squad. That's what Grandpa Harold taught me, and I'm sticking to it. That's what he taught me. Am I wrong? Is it services announcing centrifuge? I don't know. I never looked. I like what Grandpa Harold taught me. I'm gonna keep it like that. Grandpa Harold was right about most things. That's how I like to run it. And I listen to Grandma Hayden. I listen to Grandma Shirley, sorry. Great. Or no, it was Grandma Hayden and it was Grandma Denise. That's how they preferred it. They're not young. And I was never given shit once by my grandmother. Never once. Only time I've ever gotten shit was when I was caught not sharing the Game Boy over at Grandma Denise's house. She told me that you make sure to share. I've always shared since, maybe too much. That's why I'm still broke in the dope game. So whenever they give me a discount, I just give people a discount, and I always go down to give less. I give more to the people I hustle to, and they hustle. So we've worked from 2010 on. We worked together. And there was no, I didn't have any workers, and that's how I operated, and that's how I operate. Now I'm just out here looking for workers, and prior to 2010, I had workers because you guys were on that ship. Period. Before you all turned to Hells Angels, because one man bought you off, and you guys are starting to learn who that one man is. And he's come down hard on you guys, or he's made you guys richer. I have a feeling that he felt they've all tightened up their order, but you're all your own men. You all have hands and a heartbeat. You all have yours. I remember thinking that, coming up with that when I was at the gym in early 2010. Hands and a heartbeat. And well, you all got hands and a heartbeat. You don't have to do everything that they say. You can still call me. And radio communications don't have to be cut completely. And that's a nice truck, that one there. I don't know whose that is, but it's not the Crimson Secret Police. We got a pretty nice thing on that here. I forgot to put the video on last night, and if I would have just left it running, and if I would have, zap strapped my bag to um, the dresser, no money would be stolen. So it was my own fault. But it wasn't stolen because I gave it to her, and she can't steal from me because I'm a guest in her house, and as Auntie Kim, she can't steal from me. So it's physically not possible for her to. And well, I'm looking at the I don't know what you call this. It's like a graph for the video graph with all this noise. I can tell when I've been home and when I'm not home, or when my other home. I got two homes right now. I got two homes. Like guy didn't know I had two homes for a while because he was always out working. He was out working for a man that hasn't even paid him for any of it, or paid him enough in living wages. And that's what they did. That's what they're doing to Chris T. Chris T, my dad hasn't paid for. I bet you he hasn't been paid for working like in the early '90s because they just kept him on the back burner to kill me when they say so. And he's not doing it, and he doesn't have to. And nobody's gonna come and go and kill Key because nobody is. Chris, they got you on the same program, and it depends what you did. It depends what you did, Chris. Because did you ever do anything that you can't be forgiven by your stepfather? Depends how you look at it, I think. And I don't know what you've done because I haven't spent any actual time with you since '07. You were you were in the employ after that a little bit, but you just I rented you a room, and you were around the crew, and you got to know somebody else in the crew because somebody else loaded you. Remember that? And I never loaded you after that. I left you a phone once, and I went to uh, Prince George for hunting and fishing. I fished with one person up there. That was Smiley, and Smiley was there, and we fished together, and we didn't catch anything. I don't know if he didn't like the wood chopping or what. It was just something to do. It was a vacation, and hopefully he didn't take that any more serious than that. Because you said something to me once, and Chris was there, so Chris is the one older that he wasn't up there. I don't know, because you guys might have got tricked into something, thinking that I stabbed you guys in the back instead of doing this all this unactivated. It's a free marketing plan for Steve Asen, and he divorced her and took the company, and I think they shut down because the website's not up anymore. Maybe they still have operation, maybe not. That's back then. So I'm just telling my life story here. So I'm just saying, you guys went one way and I went the other way. I was staying independent, completely independent, and viciously independent. Because those men wouldn't even dare think about putting colors on me. And I'm not a Hell's Angel, and I'm not a nomad. And I will never, ever be one. And that's going to be bad for the club's recruitment process and fucking so many years. So why is my cat why has my cat been returned? Somebody from out Knutsford area there, Joe Bob's wondering the same. But hey, Pat Haynes is playing tough guy with Valdick, and Valdic's playing tough guy with Brian. Brian's playing tough guy with Iffy. And these guys are all the top echelon, and I've seen somebody, and he's losing his fucking smoke out there. Because when I seen him, big time, big deal. And somebody else went out there to talk to him, and he's somebody's great nephew. And they maybe found reason to think that I'm sane, and I'm not fucking talking shit. I'm just trying to understand why my cat hasn't been abducted, or why my cat has been abducted. And they're probably wondering why Steve, Chris, Adam, or Sunil hasn't given her back. This just boils down to them and making them making a decision before a big decision's made. And I didn't fucking do anything wrong. And she's been seen with that family, probably at the cat manicure place. They probably bring her around. He's driving a Porsche with 3 5s on the plate. Why is fucking Nathan operating? Well, he at least added me on Facebook. So he's at least trying to make friends. Or is he trying to make friends to rob me? Like Red Scorpions you should usually do. That's what they do. They rob people. They don't sell drugs. No, maybe they do. I seen that in the newspaper one day. But that's in the newspaper. That's common. It's common knowledge. And I don't know anything about anybody back east. And he's not the problem. He's not. So, and and we're just looking for, and it boils down to these 4 men, and Steve Stack doesn't want to give it up. And it's up to him, and he's a Hell's Angel. He's one of Valdic's. He's one of Valdic's well, he's still for Valdic, and Valdic still got power. And he doesn't have no power over me anymore. And those guys that don't have any power over me anymore. I got a group of guys that have, we got a nice thing, and it's called, well, Gee getting a taste of my fucking action. Because that's what it is. And a piece of my action, and he hasn't received any yet, because basically, well, Anti-Game sniped this one, and that's not on anybody but Pat Haynes, because Pat Haynes is playing the suave drug dealer, and he's trying to get with somebody, and that's not happening. Pat Haynes maybe gonna play himself, and maybe he is, and I figured it out, and maybe Anti-Game did start the first profit off this one. Well, nothing I can do about that, man, and that's what Pat Haynes probably wanted. Maybe she's only getting 24 stuff, and he's gonna try and take $100 from her, and she don't have to give it away to nobody. This Pat Haynes isn't getting a piece of this. Not a fucking chance. He's got over $100 million tucked away legally. Imagine what he's got buried under 6 foot of cement pad elsewhere. I know where there's a room full of money. I know where there was a room full of money. I know why somebody built a room trying to show me that they had money. And I don't fucking care about that money. It means nothing to me. I could be trusted with fucking Fort Knox and not to steal a fucking dollar. Because I got trust, and no one's asked me to take care of Fort Knox because they have their own guard. But I'm trusted where it matters. And I'm not, I don't know what beer tickets are. I don't know what counterfeit money is, but I do know one thing. The man who trusts the president, they trust him too, and he trusts them, and that's trust. It goes both ways, and it always does in trust. Because if he had a bunch of men he didn't trust, he would have different men there, and they wouldn't want to be there if they didn't trust the president. Because, well, I bet you the president has it, he knows how to shoot at range too. He probably does well, and it's just like target shooting is a very American thing, and North America, we're in North America, and people know how to target shoot, and that's a big business, and people should target shoot. Why not? I've been target shooting before with my grandpa Wayne, and he taught me something. He sat me down, and he had the dirty hairy gun, and I was too young to remember, but he said we were gonna see if you have to practice if you flinch when you fire it. But he handed me the gun. He wasn't sitting behind me like back to back, but he was just handing me the gun, and I clicked it, and there was no bullets in it. I was so young that he just wanted to see what I had in me. I didn't flinch at all, but it was too big of a gun for me to fire. So that's the one time I went to the range, and I watched him shoot. Grandpa Wayne loved to shoot his rifles at the range. He loved to talk about rifles. But he never shot a person with a rifle, I guarantee it. Not with a hand rifle. I don't know what he got up to in his young man. He probably used the butt end of the pistol. Because I don't think he ever shot anybody, but I think he was pretty hard and young man, and he just found Grandma Denise, and that's what straightened him out. And he found family, and he found Uncle Johnny and Uncle our Dad Key, and then he found it would be Uncle Mario and Uncle Serge and Auntie Patricia. And there's another one in there somewhere. No, I got them all. And that was the family that made him calm down as a young man. Because he was already calm by the mind. The mind calmed him down. He worked out one out of Merritt, and he worked out one out of Highland Valley. He retired out of Highland Valley. He was out of Alberta, the Garlic City is what he called it. And this is his story because what happened to him on a bridge. And I have a feeling that it's not good. Somebody asked him, and he went and he blushed. And he was embarrassed. Well, Brian promised him something, a bag of money, and I guarantee that's what it was. He just didn't want to say it because he didn't want to break his chain. Brian's got his own chapter. Is that what it is? Brian got his own chapter from Paris. Or is it the Kamloops chapter? Or he's the Kamloops chapter. That's how he has to set up from Hawaii, but there's only one chapter in fucking Kamloops, Kelowna, and Vernon, and that's his chapter. And he has different layers of defense. And well, guess what? Brian's probably the toughest one to get because he's the most well connected in Kamloops, and he's fairly good with the community. And well, he hasn't done me too much wrong other than this one decision that was his. And that's a pretty big if. Or if it was these young guys making a name for themselves. But how did they know he was going over the bridge? He would have made it known because his phone was tapped, and he probably thought it was tapped. Somebody cloned it. Wouldn't have been Uncle Mayo, because Uncle Mayo was fighting the war of anybody going in there. No one was going in there. It was Uncle Mayo there. Or they were sneaking in to steal his meds or anything like that. I would know it, because I would have sensed it. And he baited them in somehow. He did. He baited them in. He must have called 2 people. Why somebody's phone was tapped, maybe. I don't know. I haven't talked to Bill Smith, and Bill Smith might know some information that I don't know. And he probably would because he's 80 plus club, and they have their own estimations. But there's no way to prove it because there isn't. Nobody's gonna. Because there's a man in a mask, and I guarantee that because I wrote a mask out of I was on my hog, and it was a shovel-head engine. And it was a hardtail. It had a pitch pad on the back, and that's what they call it. It's just a seat for that's what they used to call it. They don't call it that anymore. And that's why I never had Catherine on there because she wasn't that to me at all. And she would have enjoyed going for a ride on it, I'm sure, but that's a different time and a different place. But she just wasn't. I just didn't want her riding on it because I rode it by myself. And when you're above 18 in this life and you're a man, you're above 18, you make your own fucking decisions. And women deserve to be protected, and I protected her against everything I could protect her against. And she made her own decisions in life. And I never cheated on her once. Nope. I was separated. We were separated when you left her grandpa's. How could we be? We weren't living with each other anymore. We weren't getting along with it. So that's when we separated. And then we came back, we tried it again, and we separated again. And when I jumped off the deck. That was separation. and then that was. And it doesn't matter if you were head over for someone in Kelowna or whatever happened there, or you just met them. It's not a big deal. I don't care. It's going back. We tried. We did. It didn't work, and that's okay. And I'm okay with that. And I just know they spoke evil in your ear. The side of the Hells Angels, and they're the patch members. There's Brad Haynes. He's a patch member. Valdez, a patch member. And Brian, well, he's in question, but maybe he didn't have anything to do with that bridge. Or maybe he did. And somebody reached out to me twice, trying to say that he's sorry, but he doesn't know how to say it. Well, it doesn't bring back somebody, and I didn't say no middle names, so that's legally binding. So, and I know my middle names. I got 2. I don't. Who asks people their middle names? And I talk a lot about myself because there's not much else to talk about because I spend time by myself and I don't go to parties and I don't hang out with friends and all that because I've been busy with research and research into fucking what happened to my grandfather has been pretty fucking much, important. So you don't want to move to Kelowna or Vernon. I know that. Maybe just don't run into each other anymore, and don't think I don't know the tech skills of the certain men. Because I had Montana in my life because I loved her, and I did. I still do. I got her back no matter what, because she's a woman and she deserves that. And some people just hate their exes, and I understand that because you had a different relationship with your exes than I had with my exes. But I'm the guy out front of the cameras here right now saying that Pat Haynes shouldn't have any fucking power around us. Pat Haynes knew that was coming. Of course he did. And they planned that together, and they're using you as a scapegoat. And I honestly don't want any trouble to come to you because I understand. And you may have already gotten into shit. because he wanted to know the truth, and he may know it, and it's not his fault because he's probably promised a bag of fucking money from someone, and someone likes promising bags of money and it never gets paid. And that's my dad in a nutshell. He hasn't been paid since his work in the fucking 90s probably, or in the 80s before I was even born. They stopped paying him when I was born because I was like a fall guy to be. I was a boy genius. Well, I went head over heels in the dope game, and I stayed in the dope game. I didn't. They wouldn't let me organize myself in crime. They wouldn't let me. And I mean the older guys, Pat Haynes and his buddies. Because it really boils down to that. Because Pat said he was told everybody I was with him. I was never with Pat. Never have I ever met him. I never fucking worked for him once in my life. They said their propaganda leaving the system. And Pat Haynes fucked up last night because he took the cut from he took it because he's playing suave drug dealer and he's forced it on him to do something. He took the right amount and he thinks he's gonna get that money. Nope, I don't think he's gonna. I'm just gonna mention that. You can go ahead and spend it. I'll say it secretly. Like they called me a little bitch for years. They called me a little bitch for years. And the funny part about it is, I stuck up for the Hells Angels on the phone call with Matt Hickson. I stuck up for the Hells Angels, and Nathan knows it. He probably heard that fucking voice, that conversation. He heard it live because I thought they recorded that conversation. And no, I stuck up for the Hells Angels. I stuck up for full-fledged patch members, not for the patch members. Patch members are all guys that believe in overthrow, and they believe that they already are government. That's a patch member. They're basically land pirate. I just live in a fictitious world of magical fucking unicorns and fucking uh, elephants and this kind of elephant. That's for my Uncle Johnny. We would have had a laugh about that when I was a baby. My mother told me the story, and that's what he would have told me an elephant was when he was in from hunting, and he had a slab of meat or something like that. He would have told me it was elephant meat, and that was probably from who knows, Saskatchewan, whatever he was shooting and eating that he wasn't a poacher. I don't think he poached, and he did it legally. Charlie Granger never did any poaching. He didn't poach once. And that's when he was younger, and he had a friend in the Chinese too, and that's a different story. And we need our black bears and stuff. Because I just ran with a full-grown fucking brown bear, and he wasn't coming after me. He was warning me that somebody was down there looking to hurt me, and he's warning that he was in the area. And that's a big hill. That's a hell of a mountain, that one. I think that's Monty Mountain. If it is Monty Mountain, well, I know where Monty Hills are, and hills don't have eyes. We can be rest assured of that. But some people have those fancy cameras. They go and they can watch them from all over the place. And people on property here from all over the world with cameras. I always thought like Caesar, like if I on the North Shore, all the mountains around it's like a giant coliseum. That's why I called myself Caesar when I was young. That's why I picked it. And I picked it quickly. It was like one of those decisions that Patton made in the war. When decisions are made quickly. Because Jamie Bell always asked me. He asked me, what should I call you from the jail phone? I said, Caesar. Not Caesar. Caesar. And that was out of respect. Because Jamie Bell was just boo-hooed up because I tapped his ass out. I tapped his ass out and I tapped out fucking Action Jackson. He's not Action Jackson anymore. He's Lawrence Jackson. He's wanted in fucking jail because he's a rapist. He got caught for that once. He told me, and he's still suave drug dealer there that they put on. And I told him once. I told Jake once what he got into, and that's how they want it. They want to keep him on. He says, "I fuck you to me, because I'm not Hell's Angels." It's bullshit. I was still raised in this area. I still got respect by lots of people who are Hell's Angels, and there's different ones that don't. That's what I'm saying. They're at war in this province. It's a fictitious philosophical war because I know how they treated me over the years, and I can talk for years about how they treated me. And I just took it, and I took it in as a man. I always got them back, though. I always tit for tat at them, and I stuck up for the Hells Angels when Matt Hickson tried running me out of town. And he's probably still wondering why I'm not out of town. Well, he's not in town anymore because we never ran into each other again. Well, did we? No, we didn't, because Matt Hickson's under the same fucking totalitarianistic idiot. That's Valdick. And Valdick's a fucking moron. And he doesn't take any orders from Valdick. Maybe he takes orders from somebody else. Valdick's no good. And he's a Hells Angel. He's been pushing out his weight for years. And he's lost power. He has lost some power, big time. Because he had me in his confines. No, he never fucking had me in his confines forever. It was Adam who was a fucking moron. Because he said JR was my boss. That's their propaganda. JR, I never seen him at that house on the hood once. Everybody knows where my hood is. He had the same house for fucking. He finally sold when I told him on the phone. I told him off on the phone. And when I was supposed to meet him for a sit down at Denny's downtown, he didn't show up. He didn't. He didn't show up. I called him 5 minutes too. I said I'll be late, and he didn't show up. He just didn't pick his phone up after that. I think he's tried to have somebody go down there and take me away. This isn't the Soviet Union, Val. This isn't the Soviet Union, Val. That's my estimation that it was somebody that was one of your buddies once, or you guys worked together at one time. Maybe he doesn't take your call anymore. Maybe he does. Maybe he's a shoulder you can rely on, and not somebody you can order around, Val. You ever think about that? Because you're a Hell's Angel. You don't boss around those kind of people. I got good connections. Sometimes I have really good connections. I have connections that maybe people thought I had, and maybe they're right, and maybe they're not right. Maybe I'm just a goddamn dope smoking fucking no-good, and maybe, and he wouldn't know anything about it. These young women, they don't remember things. Other people take pictures, and other people stole it and took a picture and put it back. And the young ladies that use as spies aren't very good. And that's what Montana never spied on me. She loved me, and we loved each other. And I told her I had to drink with Jaden, and I told her that because I wanted to make sure she knew I was just trying to see what she was up to. Like I didn't know her at the time. She wanted me to grab stuff from somewhere else, and she was hinting towards, maybe she can set me up with a different source. And that's all it was. And I told Montana that, and that was it for her. She turned it into World War III over there. And she beat my ass up 3 times over there and she punched me once when I was driving down the road. And this makes her laugh because it's funny, because it's supposed to make her laugh. Because I'm not charging her, and I would never. It's just a wee pipe. Because I'm on holidays basically right now. I'm just narrating fucking southern British Columbia Hells Angels war here, because it's a philosophical war, but people are getting yelled at. And people are getting fucking told what's right and what's wrong. Because Wayne Astor was a fucking connected man, and he was just connected to the 80 Plus Club. And well, I said once I don't want him in any serious shit because we can't prove it anyways. That's how the 80 Plus Club would think. Because they have friends, deep ties into their generations. Their buddies are 80 plus, and then certain men are 80 plus. And I'm welcome to think like an 80 plus year old, but I'm still 35. I don't want to see anybody shackled for it, because he got used for a ploy, and then ploy is somebody's house was right there on the left, and it was right in front, and right out front of somebody's house. He doesn't even know whose house that is, because I know of it, because some other people know of it. But he's a very secretive man too, and he's got to go down to the fucking bishop there and repent if he wants any. He doesn't have to say that, but you guys just didn't know how smart I was and how well I keep my memories. I don't write anything down. You guys photograph things and you keep files and all that, because that's how a government agency does things. And I mean, you guys aren't a federal agency, man, and you guys are planning on something up here. And I'm trying to step you off of the ledge, because it's not. You guys aren't government. And you never will be. This country's literally owned by one family, and it's land, and not all the private property. They don't own the private property. They may own the 6 feet underneath your basement. That's legality stuff. That's the stuff you don't have to worry about. Nobody's digging a hole underneath your basement unless these guys are doing something underground that they don't want to be doing, or they just have. Or it's just times change, and certain organizations lose a little fucking steam, and big deal. And really, at the end of the day, and big deal, because some of you guys are all retirement age, and my old man's comfortable, and he hasn't found this YouTube yet. That's why we want to keep him, because he's a Frenchman, and as far as I know, the Frenchman don't see so well. He's got glasses on, and he's my dad. I love him. I can give him a hard time a little bit if he's not around. And other dads, they love their son too. They might not talk to him for a little bit, or there's been an argument, and I didn't hear about it, and maybe nobody else did, and they had it in private. And that's the best way to keep it. Me and my dad, if we had an altercation once, I never hit him. There's no rule against not hitting a nomad. There's a rule against hitting a Hells Angels, though, but not a nomad, because there's a difference. I never hit him. I tackled him. This was years ago. And they find policemen that picked me up. They dropped me off right at the S turn. That's where I wanted to go. And they might have heard that I tackled the. They might have took a chance, and I walked off into the bush without a flashlight. And I was in Cougar country, so it was probably a win-win for them. I'm a dope dealer, and he's key. So fuck. Why not? And I was fine. I walked straight to my tent, passed out, slept like a fucking bear. The wildlife out there protects me. And or when I go to the traditional uh, watering hole, the creek, because they can drink that water and not get dysentery. Because I drank the water the one year. I drank the water. It's a weed pipe. I drank the water the one year, and I got dysentery. That's what I think was dysentery. And I even went from the camp all the way home to use the washroom. I went back, and then went back for the washroom. That's one of the years I was being drugged, and some people remember that. And when they were trying to use medicine on me, and it was medicine from Chris Lane, and Chris Lane was using poison on me to try and kill me. Just so we know who's family and who isn't. Because Auntie Kim could grab 120 if she wants. I'm a little low on money, but technically it comes out of my pocket. But technically on this one, it's a bike issue. She's playing Patty hands like a fiddle. And she doesn't have any communications with them, no. Because I did something out of God, God fearing myself and what I was going to do to those young men that stole my cat. I called the cops on for a reason, so at least I could be, I can't go over that. It makes me ungangsterized in the situation. Because if it was up to me, well, there's a baby there now and there's a woman there, so, and Samuel's there by himself all the time now, or is he not? And, he's just baiting me in. He's just trying to bait me in so they can rat me out. See, I'm not playing. I'm the mastermind of cameras from my age group, the 35-year-olds. So, and I was as a teenager, way ahead of you guys, all of you. All you guys when you were a teenager, you didn't have no action. Steve had action when we were rolling together. We were good, and he had his own action. And Steve and Swan and me are tight, and we always have been. And me and him are probably wondering when it's our turn to make a million. Because things are still in business. I'm still in motion. I don't know if he's still in motion or not. I'm assuming he probably is. He's got his dad, and I've got my dad. And I met his dad once, and well, he still owes me a bike, but I forgot about it, so I won't mention it. And because I was too lazy to go pick it up, and this is prior to 2010. I just didn't pick it up because I didn't really care. Because I figured if I didn't get it, Steve would sell it or keep it. So, and I didn't really care because Steve was like my older brother too, and Jamie Bellows. These guys were tight. Jamie's just having a little thing called perception problem. I tapped his ass out because he was sad because his cat was missing, and I think Chris Gregoire stole that cat. I'm pretty sure he did. And Chris Gregoire is not me, Jamie Bellows. I'm Cody Hayden. If he's watching this, I sent him the link. If he's not watching this, he's sleeping or he's working. Because Chris Gregoire is not me. And he has a dope line in town that he enforces, or he just pretends to be me, or he just makes fun of me. He just makes fun of me like I'm a punk and Jamie Belrose. You better understand who you're fucking with, pal. You were supposed to call me for work, and there's a reason for it. If you were upset, you got tapped out. I insulted you because you needed to blow out some steam. I called you a queer and a fucking piece of shit, or I said fuck you, because I knew you were gonna come fight me over it. You're a jail guy. I knew you wouldn't be able to stand that because you were stewing there because I was going over to Jody's and you were waiting there, you hidden there, and you were not yourself. And people are drugging you through the fucking work they give you. I'm trying to tell you the truth, and you just don't give a fuck because I tapped you out. I tapped you out, big deal. You're like a brother to me. I tapped his ass out, and he wasn't in great shape. He was in good, decent shape. He smokes, he drinks. You weren't in military grade shape, and that was when I was out of shape. I'm in shape now after that summer, and I found on the pavement just letting them know I'm ready to fucking go. And well, I'm fine. I'm good. And nobody's been poisoning me lately. I get to poison myself. Yes, I know what's in the fucking stuff. It's nothing that's gonna drive me fucking nuts. Well, it hasn't bothered me. And with the amount of methamphetamine that was in the coke when I was young, well, maybe I got a little addiction to it just naturally. But I don't do the coke anymore. I got it on my system. I did completely. That's why I was pretending to be a coked up fucking cokehead. And I was a cokehead. And I was a cokehead for 2021. When I below Larry the Pear, I call him Larry the Pear, Mr. Bowers, and because he just wanted to come down there and enjoy it with me. But I knew one thing: he didn't do it anymore, and it was torture for him. Or he thought I was going to overdose. And I heard him talking shit about me one night. And he was talking shit on me because he just wanted to come down and have fun, have a party. I was down there by myself, and I was studying the Ukraine war down there. And I watched it. I watched it live when it started in Kiev. Watched it live, and you could watch it online. And I can't remember the website that I found all that stuff on, but I watched it. I watched it closely, and I watched like all the battles that were happening and all this and that. And I watched the news, and I was watching a lot of TV then. And I was at study, and that's what I do when I'm by myself. I study. Now I'm just at home talking on the fucking computer, and this is just. I don't blame anybody that had a mask on their bitch. I just know I know that's how it was done because when I left an Armstrong in the fair, when I rode my bike and I didn't have any vests on, I just had my jacket or shirt. I can't remember what shirt I had on. But I had just my bike, and it wasn't a super expensive one. But the man who owns it, he probably still owns it. And he probably keep it forever because I gave him a deal, and although it was probably worth a little bit more than that, but he drove out from Calgary, and he did drove all the way from Calgary. He bought it for $2,500. I paid 9,500 for it because 10 grand is the legal CRA amount. I paid 9,500 for it, just like that. No, it was 10 grand that my sister stole from me. That's not a legal issue. She sold that. I remember putting it on the table when I knew she was on her way, because she was on her way to drug me, make sure I was killed, because she's in good with that man from Hawaii's daughter in Vancouver, and they're besties, or she uses her. It probably does. Why wouldn't she? That's her job. That's her mission. So she's a spy, and they all do spying because this is where the buck stops. Can they undergo interrogation? Some women have for him. I'm sure at least one or two. Probably not many, because which women work for his payroll, and that's how because he is squaring up with New York, and he's been sizing them up, and he uses women to his advantage. In the Italians out there, they don't use them to their advantage, but they still know how to gossip, and they still know how to, gossip and be women. And they don't use them as spies, though, and they don't train them in that kind of espionage shit, and that's the difference. That's a big difference. And they don't do spying tactics, and that's the difference between using Hawaii as far away from New York as possible. And well, he says one thing on the camera, and he says another thing on the camera, because he says that he's listening and he's learning. Because he ain't learning nothing from me. He wants me deader than a fucking doorknob. He's been flexing it here on the ground, and he's probably in secret has people that want to do it or don't want to do it. But the one night when I left to Chase, I was in a car. I was in a car, and nobody knows which one I was driving because there's 5 or 6 on the property, and maybe I was in the Jetta, and maybe I wasn't, and maybe somebody had to give a report. And well, I seen somebody parked on the side of the road. Maybe it's there to protect me. Maybe it was there to kill me. I can't remember. But because we never spoke about it, and maybe I saw somebody pull over, and I pulled over beside him. And I seen him looking, so I knew he was looking for me. I pulled over and I waited for him to come down that on ramp, because if he would come down that on ramp, it would have been on. And I know the back roads of Duck Range Road better than he does, even with GPS. That's where I used to ride my hog, and it was a hog because I had a shovel head engine, and it was a hardtail. It was custom build. It wasn't super expensive, but Al did build it. And my dad bought it off someone in Saskatchewan. He paid good money for it, and Al probably made on that sale. And then we sold it back, and Al sold it to him originally, and Al probably made good money on it, way too much. He should have gave it to him at a cost. But Al makes money when he sells a bike. But how much did he pay? I don't know what my dad paid the first time, but he took a loan out to do it. That was his hard-earned money, and because he hasn't been paid since the 90s either. And Al's been getting paid off my dope line. Same with Andy. Same with Tony. That doesn't make them super powerful. No, it doesn't. It makes them those three. And he's maybe not taking calls, my dad. And maybe they miss out on the first 50 of these guys, because maybe Auntie Kim got to it first. Maybe that's all that happened, and she deserves it, because she's been putting up with me. I'm pretty well behaved. So that's a corner over there. That's where we're gonna put Pat Haynes. Dead Pat's in the corner right now. He's Dead Pat. They met before when they were young, and he thinks he's playing her, because he thinks he's talking to someone in his mind. And Dead Pat Haynes is losing his fucking mind, because he's listening to this and he thinks he's talking to somebody else, and he doesn't know what to do. Dead Pat Haynes is gonna have another heart attack. Because Dead Pat Haynes is gonna have one, but nobody wants to see Dead Pat Haynes dead. Nobody more than me, and maybe somebody else, but I don't know that name, because what name is it? Could be same bloodline, or it could be different bloodlines. See, there's one Hayden in Kamloops, and I'm not in Kamloops. I'm at Lafarge, and I'm underneath the bridge. There's a nice story. What's a nice story for the lady? It's a nice story because I was coming out of Dallas there, right in front of Brant, and I happened upon a woman who accidentally hit a small Bambi, like a small deer, and it was very sad because she hit the deer and she didn't wipe out, which was awesome because she must have they just jumped right out in front of her, and she was fine and I was fine. I happened to have a trailer, and well, I just took, well, I didn't want to leave there was a tiny little doe, and well, I wasn't sure exactly what to do, but I knew I didn't want to leave the Bambi there because I took the Bambi away or the deer because she didn't want to leave the deer there, and I could tell she didn't want to leave the deer there, and she couldn't take it with her. She was on a bike, so I had the trailer and I just put the deer in the back of the trailer, just because. Well, I know a road and a highway is supposed to clean up like dead animals on the side, like Argo I think does that. I know that from a fact, just from watching them do it over the years, and we'll driving by and seeing them do it, and so I just took the deer away, and I did, and I probably should have buried it up in the hills, but I didn't have a shovel. This is when I had it behind my Jetta, and I still have a tow hitch behind that Jetta, but that car was sabotaged, and I'm thinking I know a guy who can fix it, but he doesn't call anymore. He's not allowed to call anymore. Somebody figured him out, and he's not anything but a good man, and he's not here for any other reason but to be a good man, and I know where to find him. So I also know where to find Pat Haynes' house down on the reserve, and it's not the reserve. I call that area the Halston area, and then it's Yellowhead area. And that's still the reserve. It's still the res to some, and I never think of it as res myself. I do sometimes, but and I met a man with Steve Stacks once, and he's a good man. And my good brother of mine is the one that's feared and revered, and Steve's just a good businessman, and he is. But if he's a patch on for Valdic, well, that's their business. And guess what? Getting my cat back's my business. So how did I figure all this out? Because Valdic's the one that engineered the abduction, or they just did it, and they didn't want, and he's giving them shit, and he's in shit for it. Because that's caused a big fucking ruckus here, and that caused me to be an investigative journalist. I'm not a journalist. And that caused me to be me, and I'm not feared yet, and it's got nothing to do with anything. But Wayne Astor's the big one here, and nobody can prove it. Someone who already came down on him as best as his dad can, and well, I mean, we gotta live in the same town, and there's long-standing beef between Uncle Johnny and Pat Haynes. And Pat Haynes doesn't like that. Uncle Johnny, Uncle Johnny, Uncle Johnny. He doesn't like that, and Uncle Johnny's sending messages from the fucking beyond. And well, I wasn't sure what to do with the deer, so I did the only thing I could do. Some know, others don't, and I put the deer somewhere else. I placed the deer somewhere where it wasn't going to be a problem for anybody, and that's the best I can say, because that's just, well, at the end of the day, it's just a deer, and these deers get hit, they get slaughtered all over the fucking highways, and that's BC, because how many deer die every year? Well, they do pretty good up on the Cocala because there's a fence there, and that keeps the deer away from jumping the highway. And you don't see too many dead deer up there. I seen a dead buck on West Side Road once, and that's rare. He must have been really thirsty, or is a suicide, because those animals are so smart. They just it's like the same reason you never see a cougar hit by on the road. You just rarely see that, and certain things you rarely fucking see, and certain things you just don't see. And a cougar is not something that gets hit by a vehicle ever, and there's only so few left. And well, they're up there. They're up in the high mountain areas, and they're up there, but their dens keep away hunters because it's called fear, and and men smell fear when there's a full-grown mountain lion in there with his buddies, and they're defending their young, and they hang out together in the dens. They might have different parts of the underground caverns together, but they're up there. Men don't go in those caverns because can you imagine going in a cavern with a bunch of male mountain lions? That's a mountain lion, and a group of cougars is still a powerful thing. And I stood my ground against the mountain lion. It's not music. It's not a joke. And I did. And I just ran with the fucking brown bear. And he wasn't running at me. He was running downhill. And I fooled him. And I ran towards him. I stepped towards him. And then I fucking came back a little bit in front of Monty Mountain. And I think that one's Monty Mountain. Whatever one's in behind Mr. Strike's property. Sim Strike's property and Mr. Strike's property. And it's probably his family's still out. I never seen it for sale sign, I'm just assuming. And I don't go on the property, and I didn't go through that property. That I should have went through. Well, I went through Ron Boucher's old property and Kelly's old property because I wanted to get away from him. And at that point, I could have went through anybody's fucking property because I was making sure I didn't get eaten. And this just happened a few days ago. And well, he made it known that he was there, and I was up on top of that mountain for too long, just shooting the shit with myself, talking to myself and acting like a weirdo. And I'm just kidding. I was just thinking this country is amazing, and it's the same. There's the same mountain where there's a picture of me as like a ninja, and I'm pretty popular online. And Auntie Kim didn't do nothing wrong. Looks like Craig Penner's out of beer money though, and the old man ain't getting his piece. His Pat Haynes had that his piece. Yeah, he had that make his suave drug dealer. No, he's a suave drug dealer, and he's seducing a woman that probably can't stand him, but he's doing it with his mind because they don't talk on the phone. So he must be thinking like he's losing his fucking smoke. And there's men in town that are from out east, and they found me last year, and they're powerful men, as are others. And so people are fact checking this stuff. And that cat didn't go fucking running around. I heard her upstairs meow, and you guys have her, Sanyel, and you can give her back. And I just ran into you accidentally. Were you trying to fucking pull a heavy because you had my phone cloned? Or you just stopped in at the 7-Eleven and you're tracking me. And you guys think you know where I am. And Chris is the nomad. And Steve's text is the house angel for Valdic. Valdic quoted his own when he left fucking Europe. And Valdic did. I bet you he did. He's not actually real Hells Angels. That's what I'm saying. His colors have been pulled. And all the guys that he made Hells Angels in the chapters he started, they don't even exist really, but they still hold the vest. Because he had the seamstress do it eventually when they introduced everyone on this side of the map. He was supposed to go to here at Perth, and was that a Hells Angels decision over there? Or was that his buddy making it up? Because that was a KGB play. And that's one of their old spying, one of their deep cover operations, and the KGB don't even exist anymore. So whatever he's up to, he's not a fucking spy anymore. And he's a man that should care about people. And he wants me dead or ran out of town. He does. He wants me dead or ran out of town, and he can't because I have new friends. That's the bottom line. Pat Haynes, they're never ripping me off when I'm sleeping still. She's Pat Haynes. She did it for Pat Haynes in there. And she's playing him because he uses things called, and he uses things called his mind, and his mind doesn't work properly because he's a psychopathic killer. And some people don't know his track record, and I can guess his track record because there's never been a book made about Pat Haynes. But we need a book made up. Just call it Pat Haynes the Idiot, and well, might as well. And he's still a powerful man, but he can't do fuck all to me because I'm saying this, and other people wouldn't even dare think it or say it because he's still Pat Haynes, and he's still got power. He's still got his own strikers, but they kind of jump and dance on the fact that they don't jump and dance. And he can't call a hit on me, and he knows it because I'm in back east. And that's what it is. And the buck stops when the Guidos get involved, and they haven't been involved yet. And that's when the strikers stop defending the so-called president, because somebody else has got PMC money, and he owns his own. And that's what it is with him in Hawaii. And well, I could have probably already told you that 4 weeks ago, but it's pretty obvious. And to me, just because I'm me. But most people don't even know what PMC is. It's not the Marine Corps, and it's not the motorcycle club. There's a big difference. And there's no sparing. There's lots of men that can shoot in the States. There's no shortage. Put my keyboard in here. I gotta pack up. Ready to go. Tear down, pack up. I could do that. He'd prefer if he gets more information about his guys because he hasn't seen him since the 60s or 70s. And Pat Haynes prospected on his RV, and that was for training men. And well, I'm not going his way. Not a fucking chance. I was there as a concerned citizen. And I was there because I stopped somebody to become something that she was going to become, because Montana was doing it on like automotive. She wanted revenge on somebody. And I stopped those two cold-blooded. And those two still have dealings with each other. And what they are, I don't fucking know, because I don't talk to either of them anymore. But Montana keeps trying to reach out to me. She knows something that I have a court date, and she's still trying to throw me under the bus. But she's trying to get into the will. You're not getting into the will, Montana. The voice in your head is you. You're the only one. You gotta go to the actual center. You have to. Your teeth need replacing. But Cam says you're not allowed. Cam's a nobody. He's a nobody. He doesn't want to be under order. He's under order from Iffy, probably. Oh, that's his puppet gang. He's got his ties to the community, and he's got a puppet gang. He's got a puppet gang with Cy up in Cass Creek, or Paul Lake. And Paul Lake's even got their own barbers now. This is how powerful Paul Lake is. And this is how powerful Paul Lake's gotten. They have their own barber come down the mountain, and it's called Paul Lake Barbers. And this is how powerful they are up there. Because Simon he may be sitting there by himself, but why is my car being stolen? Why is it going up there with someone I'm in an open relationship with? And that was the whole time. Did you guys thought you're getting away with something? You guys do any double teaming up there? It's an open relationship, man. You guys didn't know that, though. It was the whole time. It still is. So she can have all the fun she wants. I don't mind. She never cheated on me until you just started doing that fucking powder. And then you just went weird. And she was solid, as far as I know. Although she was Snapchatting somebody continuously right through. But she wasn't spying on me, no. She's spying on me for 5 different parties. And they all want to know one thing. How's your drug deal? How's your drug deal? You guys all know I'm a drug dealer, and you all want to know how I do it. Well, I do it my way. And my way is always fucking good. Other people do it their way. And we do it pretty good out of fucking cameras. And other guys do it pretty good out of elsewhere. And some have a pass. And I pull on my passes from everybody. Nobody has a pass from that. Because Pat Haynes he said he was with me, so he got to soak up my pass, eh? Well, my past isn't your past, Pat Haynes. You got to deal with your own actions in life. My past is from me, my actions, and I get a pass from men that know who I am, and have their own estimations on who I am and what I've done in life, and they know for a fact what I have and I haven't done for as far as anything to do with policemen and policewomen. I've never extorted one or forced one to do anything, and that's me. And some people, got into arguments with police, and that's never been me. And some people just, well, things are different in different places, or they had their reasons, because that's a different generation. Different generations are different generations. And one thing we haven't had here is anybody messing with the judges, and that just goes without saying. You never mess with the judges, and something did happen in Italy, and that's probably all the Italian business. And I've seen it on that when I watched the documentary. I've seen lots of documentaries, and I've had my own estimations on organized crime. And some men have been, caught, and some men haven't, and I don't know anything else about it. And that's not my business, because I know in my mind now. Because, well, the Queen she would have wanted me talking about my life, and that's all I'm talking about. And what is that? Shadow? It's my leg. Where's this camera? Strange. Well, it's got to be something in front of the camera. This happens on tomorrow. I can't find the camera. The cord on it, I know, but where's the fucking camera? You can't see it. Oh, it's right there. That was weird, eh? What was that? That was strange, because I don't know what that was, people. That was strange. So maybe that was the opposite of the Queen of England. Because the Queen of England was pure. She was wonderful. She was Queen Elizabeth II. We were all born in this land. And she was queen of my generation. It's not my generation. I don't know. I'm 35-year-olds. In the organized crime historian standpoint, I got you all beat. Because you can read all the books you want. You can make your own assumptions. But nobody's been in the dope game for 21 years. Just because I took a year off to the coast, I was driving that Monte Carlo. Guys still wanted me dead down there. Or they're happy to have me. Or they figured maybe it was a good time for Iceland. Maybe they should have. But nobody did. So they figured I wasn't doing nothing except showing the flag. And that's my flag. So I have my own flag. And no matter how you shape it up, how you can do things out of respect. And, well, I gotta have some coffee. This is a little story for Dead Pat. Dead Pat, dead Pat. Now he's gonna try and blame it on someone else. Dead Pat can't blame anything on anybody else. Because no one can be to blame. There's no one to blame here because she's known me out my whole life, and I'm not losing a place to live over Dead Pat. Others just trying to say that Jason Robinson needs a cut. Jason Robinson isn't getting a cut of me when I sleep. When I sleep, that's what the cut is for, eh? Jason Robinson's a big gangster, eh? Jason Robinson's really pushing through. That's Iffy. Jason Robinson's represented by Iffy, and he knows Iffy personally. And Jason Robinson rolled over once, and there's a weak link in the armor. And well, nobody knew it, but how to get out of that? And why did he say $10,000 cash? Did you remember file money, or he rolled over? What he did. That's what I think. And if he didn't, what the fuck's he gonna do about it? Because Jason Robinson's a nobody. I'll explain that thing. I'm telling right now. Because Pat Haynes is worth what, 100-something million? That's before the markets close. Pat Haynes, what do you know about your money being locked up and not being able to get it out? Because you can't move money out of the Wall Street right away. It takes time. Pat Haynes' money's locked up. So I'm eating yogurt. And Jason Robinson, not the hockey player. The hockey player is wonderful. He's a good man. I'm sure he's in the NHL. I was blessed to meet just one of these wonderful men, and I think he got a Stanley Cup out east. He got one down south too, in all country. Well, Texas. It wasn't Dallas. Kamloops that he got the Stanley Cup. I was pretty sure of that. And I never said much to Doug because, I'm already rolling because I was famous already from that little picture I drew in elementary school. and I had an interesting first date, and that happened to be Megan. I can't remember which one. She's from Hollywood, or she wasn't born there. I can't remember. So I don't get nervous in front of cameras because she's done all that hard work herself, and she's earned all that, and she's just Megan. And I knew her from school. Big deal. And this is where And that's why I was so comfortable at, Doug's house, because I was already famous from that picture. The politicians already knew who I was. They're probably waiting for me to grow into something. And I'm not a dictator. I'm not, because I'm not in politics. I hate to boss around organized crime people. Only the ones that don't want to listen. So, and I don't know anything else other than that. That I was born in Boghetti. No, I was moved there. And, and, where was it before that? We were in Quinel. We had 2 locations up there. And I went once walking down towards the river by myself. I went when my parents were just not paying attention. And well, they were paying attention. They're just in another room. I was outside, probably playing in the sandbox. I was in like grade 2, grade 3. Grade 3. No, I was in grade 2 up there. So I went walk down the river. It was a walk we made with family when they visited once. And I was going down there by myself, and I sensed it was dangerous, so I went back. And I went pretty far down the trail. And I had first night I was away from my parents up there. I had a hissy fit, and I cried. I was from Brian's house. Brian from Grinnell. Not Brian from East Forensics. There's more than one Brian around. And he was a good man at East Forensics. And I don't really have a temper anymore. I have a cold mind. The great calling of the Hells Angels ego in this province is happening. Some never had the problem with it in the first place. Some men travel well, and some men travel well, and some men are hidden in plain sight. And I hate fast because there's lots to do. It's funny. It's fun telling my story. And I know Joe Bob. I known him a long time. He's known about me for 21 years, maybe even longer. Because they all heard he had a child that was hard to handle. Because he was always kicking and screaming since he was a baby. And that house up there, that burned down. I think it was an accident because the wind shifted. And the old man don't want no revenge for that. No, there's no big deal for him. It happened. He's addressed it, and he's okay with it. That was not his property. I remember talking to Owen about it when I was up there hunting and fishing. And I was up there hunting and fishing, and it was a great time when we were there. And I'm sure she'd say the same. We had a great time, and Owen was in a tough spot financially, and she was too. But she didn't wish any harm to Owen. But it'd be tough for Auntie to talk about, but I could talk about it because I was there, and I was just hanging out. I just wanted to get away and have a vacation from just being in the dope game. And I never told anybody up there really what I got into. And he got into this and that, but I was a little bit more tactical. I left hints there. And cameras, I didn't fuck around, and I didn't. And what made him all jealous was the Lasolis unactivated products. This me being on the internet as a real-time marketing strategy. And Jeff and Pat did a good job helping me out. Pat went one way. He went to the island. He's an islander now. I know that's a New York team. He's not an islander. He's a Vancouver Island kind of guy, like person. And I haven't seen him since. So I seen him once. Well, I seen him after. I seen him after briefly, but they all kind of went their own way. And I could have got back into business. I could have, but Jason R, he's the big fish. He's the big squirter now. That's Pat Ain's his main guy now. Look at him go. Look at his chest out. And he's been completely brainwashed by the death head, and he's a different man than he once was. I don't fear him one bit, because I go back to the city and act that way. Here out in Salmon for a reason. The next place he'll be moving to is either Revelstoke or Calgary. He probably don't want him in either place. He could be useful in Calgary. Yeah, somebody else can make use of them out there. Somebody else. Calgary's full of good men, and they have oil money too. There's about two bad ones in Edmonton that hate me. They just hate me just for being me. I figured something out. Me and Pat figured something out. One of our fucking phone was cloned, and they heard about it because they're listening on the open mic. Hey, the open mic phone. I sat with my phone in the pocket. Has this one been cloned yet? Well, usually they always clone them, but I don't think they close this one. I got tricks of the trade. I'm tearing down. I'll be back on in a few hours. God bless. Godspeed and God bless. I've been saying that to myself my whole life. So, who's on Twitch TV here? Nobody's making money off this. It's just traffic, and the counter chapter ain't making no money off that. Just because they know the man who beefed up these towers, and the modems are a little bit stronger in this town, or they got powerful ones, or they're just regular ones. And it's Wi-Fi, and they beefed up the Wi-Fi. It doesn't mean it's their towers. And somebody in Hawaii should know that they're not his towers. Because when it comes to Rogers, Telus, and Bell, Alexander Graham Bell was first, and Graham Porter. Your old man is a legend. Your mother's got probably things to tell you about him. Why don't you move back for the winter and help it plow the fucking driveway and shit? He's watching. If he's watching, he's not at work. Oh, that's Graham. A couple weeks in, a week off. He likes being like a suave drug dealer. Or he could come out here and work with me because I got a line building up. He wouldn't have to work for me. He could work with me. I could show you how to make more money than you know how to make because they don't give you a real chance out there. They just you make a little bit more money doing this and that, or you still don't do anything. Because you could come back and just sell weed to his friends and be all right. Or you could just, like that room, Valley View, top floor when you had a free room there. And I had one night drinking because it's my brother's 10th anniversary, and that was just, you decided that wasn't right for you, and you moved out to Calgary. Well, you still lived with me for free. And I still paid half your rent when you lived in Vancouver. I can possibly do more for you. And I never paid for a fucking thing, barely. You did it, give me a place to live when I moved out there. And you did do that, but you're always doing this snide little thing because you're in with your cousin and Jason, and that's their connection. That's a different generation, Graham. Do they pay your rent? They don't pay your fucking rent. They never actually made you any real money. So, start to try, but you just feel and I would like to get something wrong, but I wouldn't dare go there and live here ever without your permission, Graham. Okay?